Pumper 131, Pumper 112, Pumper 101, Pumper 120, and Aerial 106, Car 108. Respond to house fire. This is called in by an upstairs tenant advising smoke and flames visible from the basement.
Roger, agent of line 2224.
My name's Bronwyn, and I've been a firefighter with Mississauga for 2.5 years.
I'm Brittany, and I have been a dispatcher with Mississauga Fire for the last 3.5 years.
A typical day, it's a 24-hour shift. There's lots of kind of ups and downs and things we do across the period of the day. In the morning, we come in and we'll relieve the person that is in the same seat that we'll be taking for that day, because you can never leave a seat vacant for any period of time. And once that's done, once we've relieved the person, we'll start getting ourselves ready for the day and making sure that we've got our gear or the truck ready for the shift. So if a call comes in right then we're ready to go. I really like working at a station that has 2 different trucks, just because as someone that's fairly new, I get to learn a variety of skills. And it also comes with a set of crew members that have a range of skills that are able to, teach and pass on that knowledge. So I find it really interesting. Just the breadth of calls that you get to go to is wider with the 2 trucks. At the beginning of every shift, we also check in all our gear. So we're looking over our bunker gear, making sure that it's in good working order. We're also checking in our self-contained breathing apparatus, our SCBA, to make sure that it's got full air, that it's operating well, that there's no issues if we ever have to use it, go into a fire, that it's going to be safe and in the right spot for us to use it. We also lift the cab to make sure what's underneath the cab is in good working order. So we're looking at the engine, we're checking different fluid levels, and just making sure that it's all safe and ready to go for the day.
This is Mississauga Fire Control radio checks on Channel 1, Pumper 101.
We conduct radio checks every morning at 8 a.m. to ensure that the truck radios are functioning properly. And every Saturday, we check all the portable radios, so every individual firefighter's radio, to make sure that those are working properly also.
Facility, nothing visible from the Delta Alpha Bravo side. Will be Central Parkway Command investigate and update.
112 on scene of command, nothing visible, Alpha Bravo Delta.
In a fire or an emergency situation, those radios are their lifeline and their need to reach us and tell us critical information. The radios need to be working to do that. I feel a strong sense of responsibility when I'm sending firefighters to emergency situations when they're running into burning buildings, to make sure that all my firefighters go home safely at the end of their call.
My name's Randy. I'm a communications officer with Mississauga Fire. I've been an officer since 2006, and I first joined Mississauga Fire in 1997.
The favorite part of this job for me is the day-to-day interaction as a team, and not just the people in communications, but the people on the floor, the district chiefs, the senior staff, the other services. Putting it all together, being part of a dynamic that facilitates not only what the public needs, but what we need as an organization, and to have the opportunity to be a part of something that really matters. The challenges of this job largely have to do with the work hours and the environment that we're in. The longest stretch that we normally do is 4 14-hour nights in a row, and by the time that's over, you're pretty tired. The 10-hour days are a lot busier than nights, so by the time you finish 4 10-hour days, you're probably just as tired.
My name is Beth Duncan. I am the communications coordinator for Mississauga Fire, and I have been here since 2005. I was surprised at how many people don't know where they are or don't have any sense of direction, whether they're north of or south of. they often know where Lake Ontario is and where they are in relation to that. But that one I was really surprised that.
Nailed it.
Hi, my name is Tom Haynes. I've been with Mississauga Fire for just about 10 years now. I've spent my first 7 years in operations on the floor and moved into the training division for just under 3 years and worked as a training officer, and then recently I've moved back into operations. Circumstances that a crew would have to do a water rescue, they can vary. Situations generally is somebody getting too close or into the water under conditions in which they no longer can handle, and the water or the conditions themselves kind of take over the situation, is when we want to come in and kind of provide a rescue at that point. Any kind of off-site training that we are facilitating as far as training officers goes, our number one priority is always going to be managing the site safety and staff safety as well. We don't want to ever lose sight of that. We want to make sure that whatever we're doing, we're operating in a safe manner to make sure that, you know, we don't have anybody get injured during those scenarios or evolutions. And then we also want to make sure that what we're doing is worthwhile, is beneficial. We don't want to take the time and effort to bring a bunch of crews off-site to a river or a stream somewhere and spend a lot of time and invest a lot of resources in delivering some form of training if we're not going to be getting something worthwhile out of it.
Hi, my name is Andrew and I work for the Mississauga Fire Department as an emergency vehicle technician. I've been here for 4 years. When you're dealing with any sort of public vehicle, the goal is to make it as safe as possible for that application. The fire truck is just so much more crucial, and every aspect of the truck has to be to the highest point, the highest standard. So the more inspections have to be done, and the highest quality assurance has to be performed to reach these goals.
I'm Colin Turner. I'm a fire plans examiner. I've been here for 4 years. Our job is pretty important in the fact that if we don't review drawings, and sometimes if a sprinkler system or other life safety system isn't designed to code, then there's a good chance, there's a possibility that when a fire does happen or an emergency happens, that those life safety systems won't operate the way they should or protect the way they should. You know, these standards and codes are based on hours and hours and hours of fire testing, and you know, there's reasons why certain things have to be done a certain way because we know it works. And so if we're not there to review things and make sure that it is complying with code, then there's a good chance that, you know, these life safety systems, when you need them, they won't operate the way they should. And, you know, it could result in harm, loss of life, danger to firefighters. So, you know, we're kind of there to help make sure that things are to code and in turn, you know, prevent major accidents and things like that from happening.
Hi, I'm Melissa Thomas. I'm a fire inspector in the Fire Prevention and Life Safety Division at Mississauga Fire. We typically get into this job because we like to serve our community, but one of the greatest feelings is that we can also give back to our fire crews. They're one of our first customers, and it's our job to go into a building and make sure it's safe and the fire protection systems are working. This makes sure that occupants can evacuate in an emergency safely, but it also means that when our firefighters arrive, they can get in and do their jobs and get out again safely too.
I'm District Chief Graham Gold with the Mississauga Fire Emergency Services. I've been on the job now for 25 years. Well, safety and happiness is paramount. As much as we, as a fire service, take care of our customers, which are the residents and the visitors to the city of Mississauga, as a district chief, equally important is the well-being of the firefighters that work in the district. You want to make sure that you've set them up for success and not for failure.
My name's Gary Pike. I'm the captain of the Mississauga Fire Public Education Division. I've been with Mississauga Fire for nearly 10 years. Fire public education is all about sharing fire safety messages to the community. We have different fire education staff who go out to share information in person. Sometimes we utilize social media platforms and share targeted fire safety messages that are in response to emerging trends. So each educator is responsible for connecting with different targeted audiences. That information is derived from our comprehensive risk assessment. And when we read through that, we come to understand where our risks are in our municipality and who those audience members are that we need to connect with.
My name is Darren Reitzy. I'm the Fire Chief of Mississauga Fire Emergency Services.
There's just so many facets of a fire service behind the scenes to ensure that we run day to day. We have a team that has some incredible ideas about how to shape our fire service, how to improve our service levels to the citizens, and it's my job to ensure that these ideas come to fruition.
Hi, my name is Erica. I'm one of the administrative assistants here in Fire Prevention Life Safety, and this November I will have been 29 years with the department. As an admin assistant, we take care of answering all the general inquiries that come in. This job has definitely changed my worldviews and have more empathy for our customers. When I hear about residents living in a legal basement apartment or the resident who lost everything in a fire, it makes me be thankful and grateful for everything that I have.
Over 30 years ago now, it was identified that after an adverse call, there wasn't much support or support services in place for firefighters if they were struggling from what they saw or felt. So some members decided to form a team to help out other members and help with resources and sometimes just an ear.
So a peer debrief or diffusing is after a critical incident. The crew will usually come out of service at some point in time and have a chance to put their head back on their shoulders, and we'll sit and we'll have a discussion. We try to keep a safe environment so everyone can say and feel anything that they want to feel.
Hi, I'm Heather. I am a public education officer with Mississauga Fire. This is Ajax, our facility dog, and on the side I'm also his secondary handler. So on a typical day, for Ajax, he'll go out with one of his shift handlers. They will take him out, visit a couple of the stations. He also sometimes goes out with our peer resource team if a crew goes to a particularly difficult call. In vest, he's very well trained. He follows all the commands of his handler, whoever that is in the moment, and he's very subdued. Out of vest, he can be an absolute banana.
I don't think I have one specific part of the day that I like. I think the best ones for me are just any of the days or any of the times during the day that we get to come together as a crew, because we could be doing something super fun, we could be doing something super difficult. It's all made better or worse based on the people you're with. One of the things, I guess I would say the number one thing I would ask people to do is learn basic first aid, and especially CPR. In our job, we really have it introduced to us how much an early bystander makes such a difference in somebody else's life if they can step in and fill that few minutes before someone with training can get on scene.
Hey, I'm Victoria, and I've been a firefighter with Mississauga for 2.5 years. There's so many awesome aspects. I mean, you get to be part of a team that really cares about you. You know, in some workplaces, I think you can get kind of negative and maybe you're competing against each other, but here we want each other to do well. My success is my crew's success and vice versa. And I think there's something really special about going to work with people that you trust to save your life.
My name is Enrique Durano, and I've been with Mississauga Fire Department for about 1.5 years now.
In the fire service, before I got hired, they'd always say that you become like a family. And you hear it and you hear it, and it sounds awesome, but until you get hired and you actually work in the fire department, that's when it really starts to show.
My name is Luke. I've been a Mississauga firefighter for 10 years. If you see us coming, please try and get out of the way a little bit, give us a little bit of space to do our job. And just like everybody else, at the end of the day, we're trying to get home to see our families as well. So we're trying to do it as safely as we can.
Roger, looks like you're getting another call switch channel.